Hi, I'm Alice.
Hi, I'm Justin.
And you're listening to the Otterly Owlsome Podcast. Who knows what we'll talk about?
To do that, when I do my post, I don't do the same for you. While I was waiting, I was trying to figure out what episode number we're on. I think we're on like 7 or 8.
I was trying to think how many we have unpublished.
Let me see if I can go. Let me share what I'm doing. Share screen. Entire
All your
screen.
fancy stuff.
My what?
All your fancy stuff.
My fancy stuff. Yeah, so I can go into our studio and view the. Go away. Ask me later. Okay. So this is the one we just published. That was 5.
Yeah.
So we had 6, 7. So this is 8. Okay.
Ooh.
So let me change the name
Oh.
of this one. Episode 008. Save. Okay.
The Matrix.
While I got that on though, let me show you. I've been meaning. Nope, that's the wrong window. I have like 10 different instances of ServiceNow open on my computer. It's crazy. Okay. So this is my Gemins browser. I did my taxes finally. That's what that was.
Yay!
Let's see. If I go to podbean.com. I've been wanting to show this to you because you haven't got to see it. What this looks like on the back end. Let's see if I can move you over there so I can see you. Yeah. Move you over there. All right. So, jeez, I hate those pop-ups. Like, okay, so this is what we look like stats-wise.
Oh, nice.
So 69 all-time downloads from Podbean, and then you can see kind of each episode rundown. So, like, our first episode was the most popular, of course. And then I can go to statistics, and this is where we can see downloads, where the audience is. This is where, and this is from April. Let's go all time, last 12 months. There we go. This is where I saw Australia. I was like, how did people in Australia find out about us? And New Zealand. We got someone who keeps downloading in New Zealand, all 5 episodes.
Nice.
Sources, you could see the browser, the app. I don't know if you're curious about
That's kind of cool.
all that stuff. And then what else did I want to show you? Time of day, how long they listen, and then top most downloaded. So there's episode 1 again.
Yeah.
My TV just rebooted. And then daily listeners. So pretty cool stuff.
That is cool.
Yeah. And you don't get to see any of this. I went into the settings and I was like, how do I add a user to this? Because I'm also trying to think through, like, you know, what if I get hit by a bus?
Well, don't do that.
You've seen my runs. It could happen. Like by a truck. I'd like someone else to, you know, have access to it, but I can't add a user, which is really frustrating. So if something happens to me, our podcast is. But it's okay. We have a couple episodes stored up, and I just realized I'm gonna have to bleep out the F word. I can't believe I said that.
You have a visitor.
I haven't had to bleep anything out yet, so this will be. There's David. What's up, dude? David made an appearance on the podcast. Welcome back, man. Can you hear me?
Selling computers, man. That's it. Just selling computers.
What do you say? Oh, selling computers. Oh, so he listened to that one, huh?
Yeah, I chastised my daughter about it yesterday.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm trying to get my TV back. There we go. So how's Allison?
Good. My family's coming in for Easter this weekend.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It should be interesting. But, you know, I got my master's swag from David.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah. So we had 3 of his friends in town for the Masters. Me and Dexter went to Myrtle Beach.
That's
so
right.
I got a little bit of sun. Then they left left yesterday morning. Mia got here yesterday afternoon. Mia leaves Saturday, and my brother, his wife, their son, and my mom get here Saturday afternoon. So we've had a busy week.
So I don't know how you feel, but I would be like, get out of my house! Get out of my house!
Well, fortunately, like, his friends got in super late Friday, and me and Dexter left Friday to go to the condo. So we were at the beach, and a friend of mine, her and her kid came up, and so we literally sat on the beach, had a couple White Claws while the kids played, and we just sat and chatted and had some mom time while the kids played.
You can tell like the differences in our skin too. Like Allison has beach skin, Justin has no sunlight at all skin.
Yeah. But so it was fine for me. And then, like I said, they left Tuesday morning, and then David had to drive to Charlotte to pick up Mia because the Masters are happening.
Mm-hmm.
The airports closest to us are where we live, 20 minutes from the Masters. And so flights in and out of our airports right now are very, very expensive. So it was cheaper to drive up to Charlotte and get her. So
that's his second time in Charlotte in a week, basically. He was there last week, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. But like the tickets right now, because of what it is, are super expensive.
That's crazy. But that's you know, at least we're able to travel, I guess.
Yes.
So
yes.
There's that.
Yeah.
How was Myrtle Beach?
It was good. I mean, so my son really loves the beach and water, and it was freezing. So he built sand castles, and we went crab hunting at night. We did not find any crabs, but
I was gonna say, did you eat any crabs?
I'm not a big seafood person.
Oh.
So I know I want to like seafood. It just
It's that Oklahoma in you coming out.
probably. I lived in a landlocked state my whole life, so I don't mind. So there's a place in Virginia by where David used to live, and I can't remember the name of it. But we went there on a date once or twice, a couple times, and I found out I like crab dip. So I don't mind crab, but that's about the extent of seafood. I don't mind like fresh shrimp and like a buffalo sauce. But yeah, I don't care for fish. I don't like salmon at all. It tastes like the body of water it lives in.
Oh, you haven't had good salmon then. I love salmon. I just like soak it in butter or lemon juice. Oh, so good. Yeah. I'm trying to think of like a non-seafoody seafood. So you probably don't do sushi either.
I don't, which kills David because he loves sushi. I've had, because he gets fish a lot, so I try his because I think bacon wrapped scallops look delicious.
They are delicious.
They're not. And then when we were in the Bahamas, he got, what was it? He said it's like steak, like it was the same consistency. I'm blanking on what it was. It was not. I didn't like it. I tried halibut, didn't like it.
Are you talking about shark? Shark is like steak.
It wasn't shark. It was like, I keep wanting to say sea bass, but I know that's wrong. Maybe like swordfish.
Swordfish is like steak. Yeah, it's usually cut like a steak too.
I tried a bite of his swordfish, didn't like that. So, yeah.
So it's not a texture thing, it's a taste for you.
Yeah, and because I don't, like I said, growing up, I didn't like shrimp, but I lived in Oklahoma, so none of it was fresh. And so I've learned, like, if it's fresh, I don't mind it. But at least shrimp-wise. But all the other stuff.
But you're okay with boxed wine.
I love boxed wine. And I'm so proud of you for getting some.
I did! I finally got one. Do you see what I did there? I tried it. I haven't tried it. It's still sitting exactly where I took a picture of it. Because I got it on... Was it a Sunday I sent that?
I think so, yeah.
I think it was a Sunday. And usually, like, I'll not try something new a day before a work day.
That's fair.
Because...
Just in case.
Yeah, just in case.
Yeah. Well, I sent my mother-in-law and sister-in-law the Easter list of like what everyone was going to bring. And I accidentally put wine on the list twice. And I was like, That wasn't on accident. That was.
So can you explain what this list? So is it like a family brings stuff to contribute to the meal? Okay.
Yeah. So we're just doing like a honey baked ham because it's easy. David wanted to do.
It's delicious too.
Well, and David was like, "I'll grill out," and we're like, "That's a lot of effort when we can just like go get a ham that's already made." And so we're doing that, and then his mom makes really good mac and cheese, so she's bringing that. His sister apparently makes good deviled eggs. I don't eat deviled eggs.
Deviled eggs.
I'm sure they're good.
Wait, you don't eat deviled eggs?
So I don't like a lot of mayo in the middles. Mayo.
You don't like mayo?
I don't really care for mayo.
You know mayonnaise is eggs, right?
I know. I don't love eggs. Like, I'll eat eggs because I'm trying to be healthier, but I don't be like, I really want some eggs. You know?
Do you remember a couple episodes ago we were talking about eggs with the dog?
Yeah.
And I made some stupid remark about them in the tree and falling. Okay, so, and you thought I was crazy. So in my driveway right now, there are broken eggshells from falling from the tree where the little birdies have come out of their eggshells, and there's eggs. So it was a legit comment of that you could be in the tree.
Well, but the dog wouldn't be in the tree.
Well, no. But the dog would be, like, if the egg fell out of the tree onto the ground, it would spurt open, and then, I mean, that egg would have a bird in it, but not all would have a bird in it, I guess. But.
Well, so I was telling our dog sitter, her name's Jessica, I was telling her.
Hi, Jessica.
About it. And she was just like, oh my God, we use eggshells in our garden.
Yes, I've done that too.
Her dog will get in there and eat the eggshells out of her garden.
Oh, that's funny.
So.
I think I told you, like, I don't know. I have a whole series on YouTube of garden shorts. You've probably not seen them because it's just a lot to watch on my channel. You know, that's not a shameless plug or anything. But this year I got the I think we talked about this too, the lily tree mixes.
Yes.
And the bulbs were planted. Yes. Yeah, so it finally got warm like a couple days ago. And so I've been monitoring and there's stuff that started to come up. They're starting to sprout. And so I took a video for YouTube. Yesterday I was scanning around, took a video. And I come back in last night and I look at the video, and the video is close up compared to me looking at it.
Yeah.
And there's little rabbit teeth marks on the sprouts that are coming up. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like the rabbits are eating there's not even food.
That's funny.
I guess for them it's food.
Well, the Easter bunny, my son likes to plant things and likes to rake leaves and so the Easter bunny. I
love him already.
Well, the Easter bunny is bringing him a kid's raised garden bed for him to plant. He loves tomato plants. And so I'm going to buy him, which I have to do all this before Saturday because when he wakes up, this has to be, from the Easter bunny. But the raised garden bed was on sale at Walmart for $50. And it was real cute. It's little, and I'm going to go get seeds. And then I know nothing about plants. So it's you can't plant peppers and tomatoes in the same something. And I'm like,
what?
I don't know. I know nothing about, because I'm I'm going to plant stuff that I'm actually going to use because otherwise it's kind of wasteful. But yeah, so the Easter bunny is bringing him that along with a little kid's putter because, so David has a putting green set up in his office and he likes to go in there and try and do it, but David's putter is obviously too big. So I got a little kid's putter for him and then some books.
Next time David doesn't respond to me on Teams and be like, put the putt down. Is that how you say it?
Well, I'll go in there and we'll play not horse, but we'll essentially play horse while putting. And I never win, but I try.
What an educational gift, though. You're going to teach him biology, plants, and growing. And I don't know. That's pretty cool.
Well, he loves doing things in the yard. I'll be you want to rake leaves? He's yeah. And he gets real excited. And with his dad, he'll plant seeds. Apparently he helped him do grass seed last year. So I was you want to plant some of Mom's grass seed? He's yeah.
That's awesome. Maybe he's gonna be a horticulturist, like the people that like the professional landscapers that actually understand trees and.
I know. So I've got to go to the little. We have a nursery not far, and they sell like tomato plants and stuff like that. But I get to do all that Saturday evening. So I'm gonna try and do it out in David's man cave. So all I have to do is bring it out. But that gets delivered tomorrow. I'll send you a picture of the finished product.
Again, this is not a plug of my channel, but my garden shorts are kid friendly. There's very little dialogue. It's mostly just not even me a lot. You'll see my legs.
You need to come visit and teach him about plants.
I would love it. I love plants.
This is Uncle Justin.
UJ. Uncle Justin. That's funny. Yeah, gardening is I get a lot of fulfillment from it.
I have a brown thumb, so we'll see how it goes.
Is it a brown thumb because you forget to do things, or like you literally touch something and it turns brown?
So I don't know what it is, but so before I moved, I bought some hanging plants because every Mother's Day they would have a sale. And a bird would make a nest in it every single time. And I'm like, I can't move it. And so I'd be trying to like water around a nest, and eventually I would just give up. And then anytime I planted things, I would like follow the rules and the instructions, and they would still just die.
Huh.
We bought some hydrangeas last year, and David ended up having to take care of them because...
It sounds like it's just not your thing.
It's not. And so
that's okay.
Gardening bed, David was like, I'm not taking care of these vegetables. I was like, I will do it. It'll be fun.
And he's 4, right? Your son?
Mm-hmm.
Dexter. So his attention span is probably going to be 5 minutes, probably.
No, like he gets fixated on things, and like that's his, like when we read books at night, and when I finally get sick of reading a book, I'm like, let's pick a new one. And he's like, no. And he wants to read the same one like every night. Like he has some books he can read to me because they're memorized. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's a smart little kid. Is he feeling better, by the way?
Yes.
Good.
It was like a 24-hour bug that's going around, apparently. So.
I had one of those a month ago now.
Yeah. Have I shown you my new water bottle that you're going to laugh at?
You have not.
So, did David tell you all that we're going to do the 75 hard thing after Easter?
You did.
Or I did.
You did.
So, you have to drink a gallon of water a day, which is fine. I drink a gallon of water every day anyway. But I was like, I really need to like have a gallon water bottle. Look at how big this thing is. It's like bigger than my head. And Dexter was trying to carry it, and he was like, "Oh, I can't carry it." But it's a gallon, not a half gallon, so I don't have to refill it. I just fill it up every day.
And how do you drink from it?
Oh, it has a straw.
So you suck through the straw.
Yeah.
And okay.
It has an actual straw.
Okay.
Yeah. But when I got it in, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know it was going to be that big.
Now, have you done a full gallon yet?
Oh, yeah. I'm halfway through today.
Okay.
So. I drink a lot of water anyway.
I do too. Yeah, I drink a ton of water.
And so I was like, this will be interesting. So I only have to fill it up like once a day. And then the other day, I had drank all of it. And like at bedtime, I was like, I need my bed water, on my nightstand. And so I had to get a different cup. And I was like, I can't put this.
Can you just like picture yourself in the middle of the night?
Exactly. So I had to get my normal cup. But when it came in, I just was like, oh my gosh, it's the biggest thing I've ever seen.
And so you don't care if it's room temperature? Like, I don't either, but yeah, I'm the same way.
Some
people have to have cold water.
In the middle of the night, like I have like a very insulated cup for like by my bed. Like that's when I want like the ice cold water is if I wake up in the middle of the night. But like I fill this up with ice, like when I first fill it up in the morning. But yeah, it's huge. I'll have to let you know how that goes. We start on the 16th.
It's about the size of my dog's water.
It might be bigger.
And she drinks that'll take her 2 days to drink the whole thing. I mean, she's 80 pounds.
Riley goes through a lot of water.
She's 80 pounds of gas, I'll tell you what. Anything new in ServiceNow land with Allison? How did change go?
Oh, it went good. Yeah. I love
instance, like the best instance you've ever used?
Well, I ended up, because they were on San Diego, I was like, I can get a San Diego PDI, so I just used a PDI. So, I know. But it was funny because I hate to bash our because there's a time and a place for them. But I just feel like there are some people who, if they don't even know what they could do future state, like it. And that's essentially what it was, is showing them like the art of the possible of, hey, like I get that we're just doing this today, but look at all these things. And I really like change management. And so we went through it and they were just like, all the stuff you can do. So.
What's your favorite part of change management?
Well, I'm a control freak, so the whole thing of it, number one. But I really like the CAD workbench. I thought that addition, however many years ago that was cool. I'm trying to think like what else. And like I have so many opinions about change management. Like when I do workshops or demos, which that's essentially what that was, I'm like, this is how you should do it.
Yeah.
And they're like, I never thought of that. I'm like, this is how we're gonna do it. And they're just kind of like, okay.
So what's an example of like that where
I have?
Yeah, what's an example opinion where?
So after something's approved, if you leave ServiceNow out of the box, everything can be changed. So everything that I approved, the date, the reason, the plans, I could go change with zero oversight. No one would know.
The audit's there, but yeah, you would.
And that drives me crazy. Like it should be locked down. And if you have to change any of your plans or dates, it needs to go back through the process.
I had the same conversation. I remember it was with a network engineer because he got his standard change approved and we locked down all the fields. And he's like, well, I need to go in and change. I'm like, well, then we need to come back through and get a reauthorized standard change because now it's not the same thing.
Yep.
He's probably going to hear this and be like mad, but
yeah. Oh no, we had that conversation too. I said, if any of these details change, it is not standard.
Yeah.
But no, there's a lot of little nuanced things like that I'm like, and like out of the box in the new state, nothing is mandatory. So I could submit just a blank change with no ownership, no. Yeah.
I like that it's a blank slate because everybody's process is different. Yeah. And when we demo it, if there's stuff required, it's such a pain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It would slow your demo down.
You're not even required to make your plans or your dates mandatory for approval.
Yeah.
And that's another opinion I have, obviously, is we need to know what we're approving. Like when we're doing it, how we're doing it.
Well, I've had that conversation too. Like, well, I don't know the date yet. Well, then why are you here?
Why are you
Because I need to follow the process. I'm like, well, you got to know when you're going to do it. Well, I haven't got a date yet. I'm like, well, why are you here?
I'm back when you have a date.
Yeah. That's part of this whole process.
My other opinion, while I love that you can time box people, like with the 10 minutes, like you only get 10 minutes per change or whatever. Maybe it's because I've never been a part of a cab that was so large that I would need to know I was on deck. You know how it can notify you when your change is like up next? I have just been burned so many times by like, I've gone into a cab meeting when I worked on the customer side where someone was presenting a change that touched ServiceNow that I owned. Like they were making a change to AD that impacted all my connections to AD and they hadn't talked to me. And I was just like, no, no, we need to pump the brakes and like, talk about how I'm going to now handle how you're changing all of this. And so by people not attending the cab, they're not hearing everything that's going on and what it may impact that they just didn't do their due diligence about. So while I love, I guess maybe if there's huge cabs for bigger companies, I don't love that people just kind of don't hear. That's a preference thing of mine because I'm a control freak.
Yeah, in my past life, same problem. What we ended up doing was we said every functional manager has to be there or send a delegate.
Yeah.
And it was like required, and we would not start the meeting
Wow.
a quorum. We had to. The quorum was every person was represented or a delegate was there, and some people would game it. Like we had there'd be a bunch of managers that knew each other, and they'd be like, "Well, you just go for the rest of us." And so then it was like, "Okay, you guys aren't getting the point. Like the whole point is to be here collectively listening."
Right.
That's cool.
That's more of a preference thing, not an opinion. But I've been almost burned so many times that.
Yeah. I didn't know you had that change side of you. That's interesting.
I do.
So do you have any affinity then to policy and compliance?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
It's a very quick no too.
I have sat through many explanation of it, and I'm just like, I understand the importance and why we need it, but it just.
I just did a demo like 30 minutes ago. I finished a demo of policy and compliance and risk. And I start my demos with walking through the data model for essentially policy and compliance.
Yeah.
And it's a really difficult data model to walk through when the audience doesn't understand it or it's not got it. But this group knew it. And so I got really giddy. I was just like, "Oh my God, you guys know what I'm saying? This is so awesome." And then they were getting excited. They're like, "Oh my God, we're going to talk about risk." And I'm just like, we are a bunch of nerds.
I don't know. I get excited when whenever I'm either demoing or workshopping where the people, you can tell who's passionate about the topic. And I actually really like that because it means they care. It means that they actually will give you good requirements, or at least the consultant in me to tell them why it's a bad idea, or have they thought about it this way, or
My biggest fear when I started this job was dump the chump people, where they're just going to try to mess you up during a demo. And I think I've had it happen one time out of hundreds, but that was my biggest fear. I was like, "Oh, someone smarter than me is going to mess me up."
Yeah. I'd say I don't, in all the years, I've been in consulting 10 years now, maybe. And I've never really had anyone be, I've had rude people, but I don't think I've ever had anyone just be, you always have the rude people or just the hard to work with people. But I've never had anyone be like, if I've said, "Hey, I don't actually really know, I'm going to have to get back to you," no one's been like a jerk about it. Even my worst customer I've ever had has never.
Have you met a JIRA administrator yet?
Yeah.
And they weren't that way with you? Oh, wow.
I said, "I don't know JIRA. I know ServiceNow." So.
That's a tough audience usually.
Oh yeah. Their product is superior. No offense, JIRA.
Yeah, I'm treading carefully because I have an account with them and I do demos of their stuff all the time, like talking to ServiceNow. But their fan base is rabid, just about how awesome it is, and it's like it is, I guess, when you've got that Jira admin who knows how everything was configured, but then as soon as that person leaves, that whole company, whoever's using it, they're screwed.
Yeah, and everyone uses it so differently. I don't feel like I've ever seen two companies using anything the same way, which I find kind of odd. Everyone has their own interpretation.
The worst, too, is to that point is when it's a company that heard the buzzword Agile and said, "Well, our teams are going to do Agile," and they go get Jira, and then when they show you what they're doing, it's like, you're not doing Agile. Where's your sprint? And where's your what do you call them? Your limits on how many story points and everything. They're like, "What do you mean?" And we have a Kanban. I'm like, that's not Agile. Yeah. I can't believe we ran out of time already.
I know.
Do you have another thing right now?
I do.
Okay.
I have to go finish talking about our methodology.
All right. Well, it was fun.
Yeah.
Episode 8 in the books. And I guess we'll catch up later.
Yes.
Next Monday.
Yeah. Or before.
All right. Have fun at your delivery methodology meeting.
I will.
All right. I'll see you.
Bye.